Have you ever gone to a convention and when you got home you felt deathly ill? If you couldn't tell by the title of the video or the intro that I just did, we're talking about the con plague this week. Now I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that know exactly what I'm talking about when I say con plague. But for those of you who don't know, that's okay. It's probably a good thing if you don't know. What is con plague? Well, it's basically when you go to a convention, any type of convention, doesn't have to be anime, and you're there pretty much all weekend. It can even happen in a day sometimes. That really sucks. But you go there healthy, and you come back sick. Some kind of sickness. Con plague can vary from, stomach issues to just colds, flus, pretty much any type of sickness that can be passed from person to person. Not something that, like, say you got stomach poisoning maybe, where it was something you ate. It's more of something that can be passed around from person to person, contagious. Now, really quick, I do want to say, I've been to 14 conventions at the time of making this video, and I have not once ever caught the con plague. Worst thing that happened to me was I had a migraine right after a convention when I had to edit. Like, on the way home, migraine was starting. Not con plague. Could not pick that up from anyone else. That was just all my own body being stupid. So why is this happening? Why is the con plague even a thing? Why do people get sick when they go to conventions? Well, there's a lot of reasons for this. I think the biggest reason is that somebody will go, or multiple people will go to the convention who are sick. And then they start passing it around, and it just starts to spread really quickly through the convention because, you're at a giant social gathering, there's tons of people, it's gonna pass really fast. The other reason I think this happens is because maybe you have been sick recently, and you still have some of the virus on you, and you go to a convention, you're now immune to it, maybe all your friends are immune to it because it just went around your group already like a week ago, but you're there with people who have not yet encountered this, and now it's spreading and jumping to them. It's not something you can really control, but it's happening. So what do we do about it? How can we fix the con plague? How can we make this stop and bring it to an end? We don't want to get sick at conventions anymore, right? Unfortunately, personally, I don't think there's any way that we can completely stop the con plague from happening. But there are ways that we can take precautions to keep it from happening to us. First things first, you would think it would really help a lot if people who are sick would not go to conventions. You're saying, if you're sick, don't go. You're going to get so many people sick. But here's what I have to say to that. I completely understand why someone who is sick would go to a convention. Because conventions are something that typically, almost always, you have booked your hotel room way in advance. A lot of times you've already bought your ticket way in advance. And you've already dropped money on this. You don't want to lose that money just because you're sick. And if you've only got a cold or something like that, and it's something that you can survive with, you're not deathly ill, of course you're gonna go. I'd probably still go too. Of course, that's not helping the con plague problem, and that's one of the reasons I'm saying we can't completely stop it. So what can we do? Really obvious stuff, like wash your hands every time you go to the bathroom, wash your hands before you eat. Even if typically, I know a lot of people won't always wash their hands before they eat in their normal day-to-day life, you really should at a convention solely because you've been around all these people, and we do know that con plague is an issue. If you've been in the dealer's room messing with merchandise that other people who may have a cold have touched, this is just a really obvious thing that you want to do day-to-day, but even if you don't do it in your day-to-day life, I'm not going to sit here and say I wash my hands before every meal I eat, because I don't. I'm not going to lie. But at conventions, it really should be something you think about doing if you're trying to avoid the con plague. Another good option is to bring some hand sanitizer with you. If you don't want to wash your hands before meals, just sanitize up a little bit. That might be better, honestly. Takes less time. And the only other thing that I can really think of to help with the con plague problem goes back to the video I made last week. If you haven't seen it yet, you should go check it out. It's about showering at cons and why people don't shower at cons. I think people not showering at conventions is one of the things that contributes to the con plague. All I talked about last week with the not showering thing was that it makes you stink, and we don't like to smell nasty, stinky people But on top of that, there's one other thing I forgot to mention, but it goes into this video. If you don't shower, you're dirty. You've got germs on you. You're nasty. Not only do you stink, and we don't want to be around you in halls and in panels, but your germs are jumping on other people because you haven't showered. You're gross. You might be immune to your germs. Maybe you're used to that, but not everybody else is. People come from all over to go to conventions, and when they sit next to your stinky, unwashed body, they may not have faced the germs that are on you, and now they're going to get the con plague. Then maybe they're going to pass it to somebody else, then to somebody else. I'm not saying that we can stop the con plague, but I do believe, and it all goes back to last week's video, showering will help. Just take a freaking shower. Well, that's all I've got for you on that, guys. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think we can do to fight the con plague? Also, on top of that, I would like to know some of your con plague stories. What happened to you at a convention? How bad did you get sick? Was it on the first night and the rest of your convention sucked, or was it after you got home? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, you can click on the video on the screen to jump over to my vlog channel, where I vlog my day-to-day life for your entertainment. If that's not enough for you, go to the description below to find links to my Twitch, where I stream video games almost daily, my Facebook, Instagram, email, Twitter, Tumblr, and the Convention Reviews website.